Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about the wild card. Just released the Aberration DLC, which was my favorite DLC for Ark Survival Ascended, and what a mess it's been, this whole process. So let's cue up the music and we'll get right into it. Alright, first off, there's my character in the new Dapper outfit. Pretty sweet looking with the really super tall hat. We are on the Zeppelin, and that is Survivor Mate, our little robot companion, I guess you could call him. Let's go ahead and just set him up as follower mode. There we go. So, anyone, and this is not to dunk on, okay, I'm not going to dunk on the game or wildcard too much today, but there's going to be an appropriate amount of dunking because, come on, guys, this has been an absolute crap show of a launch. Now, I've been through a lot of map launches, I've been through a lot of delays, a lot of disappointment, so forth and so on. But this one just kind of took the cake this time around, and I could see why. Wildcard desperately needs a win at this point with this game. And quite frankly, they really screwed things up this time around. And I'm hoping that they get things set right soon because this is crazy. Now, I'm filming this Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? And I can't get into my server. And that's just the latest issue as to what's going on. So let's go back through the timeline here and talk about it. First off, Aberration was supposed to release it Wednesday sometime during the day. Last week, that was the 4th. Now, I knew that wouldn't happen. I pretty much, I've resigned myself to the fact that, yeah, they're never going to be on time. If they say they're going to be on time, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and kind of mentally prepare yourself for the disappointment that it's going to be later than what they said. And it was. It didn't come out till the 5th on Thursday, I'm sorry. Now, normally I have Wednesdays off from work. I work 4/10s, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But in anticipation for this event, I said, you know what? I'm going to switch Thursday for Wednesday this week. So I worked Wednesday and I took Thursday off, which, again, was a mistake at that point. I'd hoped things would be right. I was like, you know what? Maybe they'll get the game launched late on Wednesday, or very, very early morning Thursday. And, by the time I get up, Nitrado will have everything ready to go. I'll be able to set up my server, and we can get started on Aberration. Yeah, that didn't happen either. So, it got delayed till, I think it was like noon Eastern time. Yeah, noon Eastern time. First, it was going to be, Pacific time, which for me is 3 in the afternoon. And I stream on Thursdays, and we're going to do the opening stream of Aberration. I was like, oh, this will be great. Perfect timing. We can start off on Aberration 7 p.m., right? 3 o'clock's good, even if it's a little later, 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever. I'll still have time to get the server all set up and ready to go. And, things will be great. Yeah, it didn't quite work out that way. So we ended up launching, we were well into 7 p.m. after the stream launched. A little bit after the stream launched, we were able to actually... we got an update on the PlayStation. Now, at this point, it's like, okay, once you get an update on the PlayStation, things get weird with the servers, right? So, I knew that if anyone tried to join, if we would have to update our PlayStations and, of course, the computers and all that to be able to join an Aberration server, but, was the Aberration server even available yet? So I pulled up my Nitrado screen, and I said, I'm going to start to keep an eye on it here. And we'll see what's going on with that. So I pulled it up, and no Aberration was available. I went to their Discord just to look around while we're streaming. It was kind of just a screw-around stream. But, yeah, nothing was going on with Aberration. Absolutely nothing. So I was like, come on, man. Well, eventually, I got booted from the game while we were doing all this and just kind of waiting. So, in the meantime, the update had downloaded in the background. So I was like, great. Now what? So I said, you know what? I'm calling the stream. It was maybe an hour before the stream would normally end anyway. There's nothing going on. It was a little frustrating. We were just kind of all trying to get through things, it's just like come up, So some of the guys were downloading, and it was taking a long time. Not everybody's got the fastest of internet, so it was taking a little bit of time, and there was really no way to get on Aberration that night. So I go to log back in, and I can't get back in. It immediately kicks me out at the loading screen, and I'm like, oh boy, now we got some trouble. So we did some screwing around on there, trying to figure things out. Trench tried to help out by finding where I was located, dragging me to a different area. That didn't work. Then I asked him to politely kill me. I said, maybe if you kill me, and I have to go in where the, from a launch screen and pick a new bed or whatever, that'll work. That didn't work either. I was like, oh my god. Meanwhile, still Nitrado has not updated, right? So we're here 9-something at night, I believe, at this time. The update's out. Cool. I could get into it on single player, I imagine, at the time. Cool. But no Nitrado yet. So I was like, all right. So it did what I thought I'd have to do at that point, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and delete the game and then re-download it, right? So I did that. 136 gigs or something like that. Not, I've got pretty good internet, so it didn't take too long to do that. It took maybe a half hour to do that. I was like, all right, let me check it out now. Then as I was getting ready to load in, I realized I was going to have to re-download all of the mods. And that's brutal. The mods do not, for whatever reason, download very quickly. So I was like, oh, God. So 51 mods just for the center. So I started that process up. It took me nearly till midnight, right? Nearly till midnight to get it all in. Unbelievable. It was brutal. So I was like, all right, well, we got it. We're in. What can I do? And somewhere around that time, Aberration popped up on some of the servers. I have 4 servers I'm running, and I kept rebooting them periodically just to see what was up and checking them. And finally, the one I had set aside for Aberration showed Aberration as a choice. I was like, oh, good, we can go there now. Perfect. So I set that up, and then I shut it off. I was like, you know what, we're not getting in tonight anyway. We'll be getting in tomorrow at the stream, so that's that. But at least we're here now, right? Got all the mods downloaded. It took till about 12:30, I think, before all that happened. And that's when the Aberration showed up, was right around midnight, 12:30, somewhere around there. So a full 7 hours after they said they were going to launch, you could actually get into the game. See how things look weird here? I don't know if that's just a bad texture at the bottom or what. Anyway, and the game is still far from perfect, right? They said, but let's move forward. Let's move forward. So everything's all set up. Good. I said, you know what? We're going to, instead of my normal Friday stream of Grounded that I do with Hobbit and Christy, I said, we'll do a special Aberration stream on Friday at 7. So we did 7 till 11. We got on. It worked all right. There's a lot of weirdness going on with textures and stuff like this. Like if you look right below me here, we're sinking into something, right? I don't believe that was any kind of liquid in the original game. In ASE, I think that was just bare floor down there. Now it looks like there's some kind of liquid down there, maybe that element pool. But it doesn't, it's not, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, there's an egg. Let's grab it. Let's see what happens with rock drakes in this thing. This is kind of some science for what's coming up. So anyways, yeah, a lot of weirdness with textures loading in and popping, a lot of jank. They said not only would we be getting a new map, but we'd be getting a performance improvement, and it should be approximately 80% improvement. However they're going to calculate that. I see 0 improvement. In fact, I see a lot of downgrades. Now, it could be just because this map has always had difficulties due to so much stuff going on, so much lighting and particles and creatures, and everywhere you go there's rocks and stone, there's stuff above you and below you, whereas on a regular Ark map like the island or Scorched Earth, for instance, you'll have creatures in the sky sometimes, but like where I am now, there could very well be a biome directly above me with creatures and all that. This is such a vertical map that it's almost like being underwater constantly, even though we're underwater. There's stuff up, down, left, right, everywhere around you. And that could be contributing to this. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. But So the performance is not there. It's not spectacular. And that's unfortunate. I was hoping we'd see some major improvements there, maybe after a few patches. And we've already had a few patches, I'll be honest with you. We've had probably 4 or 5 since launch as of Sunday morning. Still nothing. So anyway, we played Friday night, had a good time. Saturday, a couple of us got on for a little bit, and we started doing some prep work for the next stream. We said, we're going to go tame some creatures and all that, and we're going to make it so we can go on a little bit of an adventure, So we did. We tamed some creatures up, and we got some stuff breeding for everybody, and, whether or not everybody gets it bred up in time, that's a different story, but at least we tried, right? Only do what you can do. If you can't get on, you can't get on. Ooh, I have a feeling this thing's dying. Is it? Look at that. So the Zeppelin takes radiation damage. That's good to know. So anyway, so that's what we're planning on doing for Sunday night, or last night. That's what we were planning. But anyway, we got on Saturday, and we played for quite a while, off and on all day. There was 2 or 3 of us on at any given moment, and everything seemed to be okay. Performance issues still existed. Don't get me wrong. There was not, the performance was not great. It was very messy and janky. We still have those weird moments of textures not loading in properly. Sometimes if I turn too quickly, like the floor would lose all its texture and all the ground stuff would be gone, and then it would have to come back, and it was very, very weird. I didn't like the way that was happening, but what can you do about it, right? It is what it is. So boom, we played throughout Saturday, and and I think the guys stayed on pretty late last night. I got off at a decent hour, I think. Well, not really. I stayed on kind of late too. It's a new map, but I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, boom, Sunday morning, we go to get on, and failure to load content pops up on the screen. And I was like, and I saw some stuff was going on in the Discord, my Discord, so I checked there, and yep, turns out a couple of the guys are having the same issue. So I was like, well, first things first, I'm going to reload the servers, So I did a reset on the servers, but they're fine. I was like, all right, I looked, and I had downloaded a patch during the night for the PlayStation. So I was like, all right, so there's been a patch. Something's going on. Go on to Twitter to check real quick, and sure enough, Curse Forge is down. And as of this moment, it's 11:22 a.m. It is down now, unless it went up in the last 10 minutes. So this has been the launch weekend of Ark Survival Ascended's Aberration map. It's just been one mess after another. And here's the unfortunate part: like, Curse Forge is partnered up with Wildcard. Nitrado partnered up with Wildcard. So it's the only place you can get servers online to rent, unless you host your own on a computer. And it's where you get your mods for the game. You can't get mods from other places and just install them on your hard drive or anything like that. At least not that I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, let me know. Somebody's got a workaround for that. But I believe that's the intended thing for Cursed Forge and all that, and how it's supposed to work. So yeah, everybody dropped their ball this week on this launch. And hopefully we've learned some lessons, and it's not going to be as bad as this ever again, because oh my god, they needed a win, and all this has done is pissed off a lot of people. Are we upset with the tribe? Yeah, we're all upset, but we're all, we're also all used to this kind of crap, and as wrong as it is to say something like that, we're still frustrated, we're still pissed, but you know what? This isn't our first rodeo. If you're new to Wildcard, or you're new to Ark, or gaming in particular, you're going to be like, what the hell was all that about? It sucked. Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Is it the worst launch ever for a map? I don't know. You guys tell me. It's the worst one I can remember. As far as personal experience, I can't think of any other ones. I've seen ones that were delayed a lot longer, things like that. I think sometimes there was unplayable ones. I remember when Genesis Part 1 came out, originally for the ASE, the easy zone, the so-called easy zone, which was like this boggy marsh type thing, was being overspawned with these freaking insects that were just so annoying and frustrating and deadly that you couldn't do anything. You just die and die and die. The easy zone turned out to be one of the hardest zones in the game, which was just outstanding. So there's been a lot of pooch launches and a lot of fails. And this is just another one to add to the list. Wild card, please. Get it together, guys. We can do better than this, man. You know, as much as delays frustrate everybody and anger everybody, I think they're much better than these fails like this, these massive fails. I mean, how many times does this have to happen before the fan base leaves? We're already looking at abysmal numbers for ASA compared to ASE. I think it usually runs about a third, usually somewhere in the 10,000 range for ASA, whereas ASE has 30,000, and they don't have official servers. That's the worst part, right? Can you imagine if they had official servers, how many there'd be? That's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. You know, guys got to get it together, make things work. Extinction's coming up. Ragnarok's coming up. We haven't heard a word about Ragnarok, and everyone's going to start asking for it now. Your best bet is to get ahead of things. You know, you did a little bit better with communication this time around. I will give you that. No news is not good news. You know, keep us abreast of everything that's going on. If there are delays and you find out about them, let us know instantly. Don't wait until 2 days before launch or a day before launch to talk about these things. You did good this time around until the end when you're like, well, we've got some issues. No. You know, if you have to wait to announce these things, wait. You know, wait until you get more news. Wait until you're closer to launch. Wait until you can be a little more specific and accurate. And, you know, your players will thank you for that in the end. I'm telling you. You know, look at how Hello Games does things. These guys go out there and Sean Murray posts an emoji on Twitter, and then 48 to 72 hours later, there's new content downloading for your game and all kinds of new stuff for you to do. You know, maybe think of something like that. Give windows instead of dates. You know, we're looking at launching this during this week. And then people will say, okay, it's going to be that week. At least they have an idea. You know, they may want more accuracy, but if you can't provide it, you can always say, hey, look, we could tell you Monday, but we can't be sure of that. You know, we'd rather not mislead you and just give you a date range rather than an actual date that we maybe can't keep. You know, because all you do then is you lose faith with your customer base. Anyway, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. Not dunking too hard on these guys, but I am dunking because it's frustrating and all that. Still love the game, still going to continue to play and all that, but come on, Wildcard. Be better, guys. Be better. If you enjoyed this video at all, please leave a like on it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. Obviously, I'm in creative mode on my single-player game. And boy, did we wreck this thing. Let's see what happened here. We need to fix a lot of stuff on this thing. Yeah, we got it down under half health. So this is kind of a cool little experiment, though. We'll have to talk about this in another video. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.